Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of Developing a Squat Practice. Today we're going to be talking about funding. So, the initial startup cost. The way that I look at funding a squat in two different elements. You've got your asset finance. So your asset finance pays for things like your equipment, all your dental equipment, your scanners. It also pays for your IT equipment and can also pay for things like aircon. So any tangible bit of equipment you can do on asset finance. Typically, asset finance has a better rate than unsecured finance. So putting as much of your equipment on asset finance is really key. The next element is the unsecured finance that we take out. And what the unsecured finance does, it's for the refurbishment cost. It's for paying for your reception desk. It's for paying for the paint in your practice. Those things you can't do on asset finance and you do via an unsecured loan. The way that you can fund your practice, there's some banks that will do it. You may have an existing practice and this is your second one, so you may be able to take a loan out on your current practice. There's lots of different finance options, but I'm not a finance guru. So what I would suggest is reach out to a really good broker that can scan the market for you. Budgeting is super important. Really spend some time thinking about your entire project plan, every element of where you're going to be charged some cost. I'd also make sure that you've got a buffer in there of about 10 to 15% for anything that potentially could go wrong or last minute things that come up. But budgeting is really important. And when you go out and get 2 or 3 quotes for each thing so that you know that you're getting the best price. However, I would say cheapest isn't always the best. You want to make sure that you're really understanding the value proposition in your quotes. You're working with some people that are really reputable in the industry and that people that aren't going to cause you more pain and work down the line, because that will end up costing you and eating into your buffer very quickly. So financial planning is really, really important. So you've got to budget for your squat. What is your squat going to cost you in terms of your equipment, labour, and all the soft furnishings and things that you're going to need? So getting that quote in place is really, really important. But then there is life after opening the squat. So you've got your perfect squat practice, the CQC have approved it, you're going to need to recruit a team and really doing some financial planning. And you can use simple cash flow models that are available online to really think about all the costs that you're going to have in the business, the money that's going to come in, and being able to plan what it will cost you. In my own business, when we open up a squat practice, we always incorporate all the salaries for the first 3 to 6 months to make sure that we have enough money to pay for the bills and the salaries whilst we build up the patient base in our clinics. Think about things like your marketing spend, how much you're going to need in the first few months to spend on marketing. Having all of these things budgeted up front means that you're in a real powerful position going on your squat journey. And look, nothing's ever going to go to plan. There'll be things that you don't end up spending on, there'll be things that you overspend on, but having a plan gives you the best chance of success. In your squat journey, it's really, really important you don't get carried away with overspending. It's so easy. Remember, this isn't your house. This is a commercial premises. So when you're spending on the things that are important to your patients, your customers. So when you're looking at dental chairs or dental equipment, buying good quality equipment so you don't have any downtime and it's going to give you longevity. But on day one, you don't necessarily need the super high spec chair. You don't necessarily need the endo microscope. You can add these things on as you build up your patient base. So it's really important you're really sensible in your budget, your planning, and the types of equipment and things that you're going for. On the contrary of that, in my practices, I will always make sure there's an artero scanner or that there is a CT scanner, so we're not having to refer out, because I know we want to do the implants and we know that it's a really important part of our patient journey and our patient experience to have everything on site. So really put your patient in the forefront. There are no need to kind of go overly excessive on things, just finding that middle ground to give your patients the best experience, but also managing the cash in your business. So you may have heard of the term cash flow is king, and it's really, really important. A lot of businesses that are profitable go under because they lose cash flow. So making sure that you have cash flow available in your business is really, really important. How do you get good cash flow? So getting patients to pay upfront for treatment, using finance options for patients because that also gets paid on day one, but also agreeing good supplier terms. You don't have to pay all your suppliers on day one. Making sure that your suppliers have staggered payment terms so that you're able to offset any cash requirements against cash that's coming in. Cash flow is really, really difficult, and always make sure that you've got enough cash flow for 3 months. Sometimes it's not always possible. Make sure you've got a 3-month cash flow forecast. Things like salaries, associate pay, all of those things are really important to make sure that you've got budgeted and have enough cash in your business so that you're not stressed.